Hi, this is Annette Kinship. I am with nexus.com/health solutions. I'm here today to talk to you about liver and gallbladder stones. I also want to mention homeostasis of the body is obtained through many different directions. The liver and the gallbladder can get backed up with stones and not function correctly. So this is just one of those areas that we could work on to bring our bodies back to some homeostasis. We will start with identifying where the liver and the gallbladder are. Here's the body, here are the intestines, and up above the intestines on the right side of the body is the liver. The liver, the gallbladder ductwork, and the liver ductwork that comes down into this is called the duodenum. Over here is the pancreas, which handles the sugars that you take into your body through food. The liver, on the other hand, handles more of the proteins and the fats to digest them or metabolize them. The gallbladder is a storage space for the bile that's left over that doesn't get used. It backs up into this gallbladder rather than going back up to the liver. Over here we have what is called the duodenum. This is the portion of the small intestine, kind of like under your sink you have that horseshoe part of your pipe, not quite a full horseshoe but similar to a horseshoe, and it comes down under and it goes to the rest of the intestines. So this is that little curve. Here they are showing in this picture gallstones, stones in the gallbladder and in the bile duct, getting stuck or hanging out there or trying to get released. Again, here's the liver, here's the stomach and the duodenum, here's the duodenum, here's a pancreatic duct that goes to the pancreas. We'll talk about that at another time. Over here, we're looking at stones as they may appear in the liver. So there's even stones, probably smaller particles, that hang out in the liver and get stuck and clog up the liver. I want to take a moment and just talk about the stones, give you an overview of the stones themselves. First off, you might have symptoms, or a person might have symptoms of extreme saturation of stones in their right side, posterior and anterior, in the epigastric region within the rib cage, which is under the right lung and under that diaphragm, below the diaphragm. Sometimes the pain will double somebody over and then they cannot function. Food sometimes begins to get backed up, and many foods become toxic due to the malfunctioning of the liver and the gallbladder system. Foods also may cause an allergic response and a regurgitation, along with severe heartburn when this is happening. Those symptoms are not always because of stones, but they are a possible result. There are two types of stones which build up that I understand. One is cholesterol and one is a calcified stone. Obviously, a calcified stone is more of a rock kind of thing, right? Cholesterol is softer. Considering that the liver functions are to regulate the composition of blood, inclusive of the amounts of sugar, glucose, protein, and fat that enter the blood system. Also, the liver function is and are removal of bilirubin, ammonia, and other toxins from the blood. Remember, bilirubin is a byproduct of the breakdown of hemoglobin from red blood cells. What then? If these stones are clogging the function, many people think as long as there is no pain, there are no stones. So you want to take a moment and look at this epigastric area all this area, epigastric area, umbilical area, it's more intestinal, hypogastric region. You want to understand what is here. Remember, again, this is where the liver is. And here's the stomach, and the pancreas is set a little bit behind it, and the gallbladder is in this region. You can see how eating proper foods could keep this going pretty well, but our irregular eating habits and our too much fat one time and too much sugar another time, you can see how it could kind of throw this all off if you really think about it. Whoops. Yowza! This is a real live removed gallbladder and the gallstones that collect from excess bile that never got to come back down and get used. Up here we have that cartoon looking one, the outside of what it might look like, and the inside with its cavities and showing stones in there. Over here we have some real gallstones that have been removed, and these are probably the cholesterol stones because they look rather soft and they're still rather green. So keep in mind what happens to that excess bile. Here we have photos of true and live gallstones showing the severity of the gallstones. This one is a calcified gallstone. Can these be removed naturally? We want to ask ourselves that. Over here we have calcified and cholesterol stones, which were removed naturally. Over here we have a removed gallbladder, not removed naturally. You want to think about what is available. Okay, what a beautiful looking water scene. It's a nice body of water with some beautiful rock in it and some moss growing, and yet we see it in the shape of a liver. Then we go down here, and this is representational of a liver, a gallbladder, and the bile duct area. Over here we have a bile duct showing biliary stones, which cause the dilation of the ductwork, basically clogging it. So as beautiful as it might look here with these rocks and the moss growing on it, when we see this being the duct that's supposed to be bringing bile down and helping with proteins and fats, it makes me a little concerned. So think about the pathways needed to have a well-functioning or homeostasis, meaning clean liver, and your health. And then imagine blockage in the toilet system or any drain system, and what would happen. Here we have a very hard word to say, cholecystectomy. It is the surgery for a removal of a gallbladder. Formation of gallstones may lead to attacks of pain, nausea, and not being able to eat comfortably. Surgical removal of the gallbladder is frequently the recommended treatment. I want to talk about surgical removal complications and the value. The value is immediate relief, no fear of a bursting gallbladder. Testimonials from those having had theirs removed. One of them says, "My surgeon said that my gallbladder was in bad shape, very inflamed, enlarged, and one of the stones was the size of a $50. I am glad I found a website where the people give some encouragement that I will get better. I am a triathlete, so this has disrupted my training and changed my plans for some future events. Sometimes I wish doctors would be a little more honest with their patients about some of the small details," meaning the results afterwards, after the removal. "I had mine out," is another testimony, "last year and was very sore for some time. Yes, you will be exhausted for a few months. This is from the drugs in your system. The anesthetic takes about 6 months to get out of your body. You can help it along by doing a liver cleanse if you want." Now let's talk about stone removal by liver and gallbladder flushes. Value and complications. The values: you get to keep your gallbladder, a functioning and useful organ. The flushes also seem to enliven the liver response to release stones and parasites. The complications may take some time to empty, or the gallbladder and the liver may take some time to empty, and the due diligence is on the part of the person with the issue. The warnings are that it could burst from over combustion of stones and bile if not immediately taken care of. Some testimonials are of those who chose to keep their gallbladder and have surgery as the last resort rather than the first or go-to are here. These are just a couple I found on YouTube. Liver purging. 300 stones expelled during my first one-day liver flush. Then another one is, they helped me off sleeping meds at flush 5. Stabbing back pain is gone completely by flush 8. I've done 16 and I have more endurance, less anxiety and anger. Hang on, it's a wild ride with all flushes being different. A third is, I reversed my non-alcoholic fatty liver with just 3 flushes. This was confirmed through imaging. My liver looked nothing like it did pre-flush, and the tech told me there was no comparison. You have nothing to lose except a vital organ, and I would do everything to save it. I know too many people who are no better off or possibly worse since having it removed. You have come to the right place. Follow your instincts. The straight liver gallbladder flush. I also focus on supporting detox from the liver as a whole and giving it to the proper supplementation needed for detox to happen. I also do a good amount of castor oil packs, activated charcoal, and chlorella to help exit toxins from the body. So there we have a few, and there's plenty more testimonials that you could find, and testimonials on having surgery and how people feel about that. If you did or wanted to choose a gallbladder liver flush, here is a book that you could find, and you can find a YouTube video down here. Here's your direction to it. Written by Andreas Moritz, it is one of many similar techniques. How do we do a liver gallbladder flush? Well, Dr. Josh Axe has a YouTube video talking about it, and Nathan Crane has a YouTube video talking about it. But this is what I have found and discovered that you basically use. Apple juice, apples, apple cider vinegar, olive oil, Epsom salts. Here is Andreas Moritz's book again to go for, or these YouTube videos to watch to learn. And we might need grapefruits, lemons, and this is showing the olive oil. And so we want to just realize what we might have to use and what we might have to do by this picture. Surgery stats. It has been concluded that surgery does have a negative side effect. Although heeding to the warning of a possible bursting of the gallbladder could be a motive to not hesitate for the time it takes to enter into a flush. To know now that there are over 100,000 surgeries done a year to remove gallbladders, well, may be, however, a motivation to flush for prevention. A wiser yet consideration. There are several testimonies that flushing, even upon having attacks, have prevented the removal of gallbladders. As we cannot remove the liver, and flushes cause the liver response to detoxify parasites as well as liver stones during the gallbladder stone disbursement or flush, it is a thought to be considered. This is not an aged human issue. Young children and young adults are developing these issues early in life and having their gallbladder removed. Important points to remember. Many people think, no pain, no stones. Prevention is the best kept secret. Poor liver function and gallbladder combustion causes poor health. What you eat is important, and what you do not eat is important. Ideals to think about might be, What would you feed your car? What do you feed your animal? Was your body designed to eat all the foods available, or are we guinea pigs to foods with no nutrient value? Can you see now, after becoming familiar with the body's true functions and necessary requirements, that in order to maintain homeostasis, we must reconsider what we feed the body, not only in food, but water and atmosphere? Flushes and natural support can be found on YouTube and Facebook in a liver and gallbladder flush community, which you can get into by making a request or by invitation only. Here is a source of images and videos page for you to be able to go look at Nathan Crane, Dr. Josh Axe, and Mauriz's YouTube videos to see what they have to say about all this. Here we have our site works so that you can maybe look up some of these again on your own, or a place to refer to.